Hello, everyone. Welcome back. It's, what is it? It's Thursday and it's really sunny again. Yesterday, we had an afternoon out and went to Yorkshire. Come on, socks! To see our friends Deborah and Richard, who live in Ripponden, which is in between Halifax and Huddersfield, in all those kind of hilly bits. The hilly bits of Yorkshire, halfway along the M62, and it was a really lovely day. And we went to Sleat. It's spelled Slaithwaite on the map, but people in Yorkshire pronounce things their own way, and I think it's Slowit. I'm not sure. Somebody will tell me, I'm sure. We drove out to there and had pizza in a really nice place and looked at an indie bookshop, which was nice enough, but we all entered one at a time, and the woman asked us, "Are you just browsing?" Like, why did they ask that in bookshops? Can I help, or are you just browsing? Of course we're browsing. It's a bookshop. And there was four of us and we all got asked one at a time. Oh, I just think be welcoming and let people look at books. Don't push them. So I didn't buy anything. But we went to a junk shop full of bird ornaments and Toby jugs and weird stuff. And in the cellar, there was kind of landfill, lots of magazines and books, very badly looked after, bit damp, everything overpriced, £2, £4 for stuff that that kind of nobody, apart from me, would want. And there weren't even any records that Jeremy bought, which is really unusual. It's unusual. He doesn't find something on vinyl that he wants, but I found a cookery book from 1961 that I adored and put back and didn't buy until we'd been to the bookshop over the road and got asked, "Are you browsing?" And I went back and bought my cookery book before the junk shop closed, even though it was £4, even though it's worth probably 20p to anybody. It's still the most wonderful book. It's a book for kids, really, for mummy, it says inside, to use with their kids. This edition is from 1971, and somebody bought it as a present to Karen for Christmas from Jenny, 1971. What I love about this is the illustrations, and apparently they're by the author's daughter, the author Cecilia H. Hind. And I think, yeah, the drawings are by Jean H. Hind. Could be his sister. It's called Flowery Fingers, and the drawings are wonderful. Look at this on the back. There's these characters all the way through, this poodle and this dog, and they're usually doing bad stuff and get into trouble for breaking eggs and making a mess. But the whole book is illustrated like this. I think what's nice, particularly nice about this, are the stanzas. That everything is written in kind of poetic stanzas, blank verse, with illustrations of all the equipment you need and what you should be doing with it. And the kind of margin drawings of the little dog and the poodle getting up to stuff. Look at them. That's magical. It makes me want to draw them. And it makes me want to do a cookery book. Actually, maybe there should be a Panda and Bernard Socks cookery book with all the things we do. It's interesting because our friends that we were visiting, Richard's very into printed books and the history of illustration and design, and Deborah used to be a children's librarian until that world became so fierce and horrible. They spoilt her entire kind of I was going to say industry, it's not that. The world that she worked in got spoiled. Like so many people I know, the people who train for years and years to do something they love, and it gets trashed around them, like academia, like creative writing, like book publishing. Anyway, we were talking about this and about how beautifully made children's books especially used to be. And I think they still are in some cases, but in those days, everything was beautifully made. They took real care making something like this, which could have been something mass-produced and crappy, and tossed together, any old how, and it's really not. You can tell this is a labour of love. And it seems to me that the labours of love that you get these days are kind of in smaller presses, indie presses. They are fewer and far between, and you pay more to have them. And the mass market stuff, on the whole, is, come on, Socks, is is a bit crappy and mass-produced and cut and paste. There's a lot of cut and paste and stuff that, even if it's not AI, might as well be. Socks, that's right in front of the camera. Come on, there's no dreamies there. Come on. And people will see your bum hole. Our friend Arthur complained about seeing our cat's bum on YouTube. Anyway, so that's all I've got to say about this. I think it's a beautifully made book, and I wish people took as much care making things. It does make you want to do the recipes. They're all tea time recipes. That's what's nice. So there's biscuits and there's sweets. And the first thing I saw was peppermint creams, something Jeremy's made in our house. I don't know why I got the recipe, but there was icing sugar up the walls. There was green food dye everywhere. It looked like an explosion in Willy Wonka's factory. We had about 4 sweets at the end of it. Anyway, she's got a recipe for the same. And tart fillings, lemon curd tarts, cherry cakes and rock cakes. These are all things out of the past, really. Cheese and onion tart. It makes you want to put on a nice tea for people. Apple sandwiches. Some of them are just a bit kind of, wartime rations kind of food, which is nice. I think people have gone too fancy. Their expectations are too fancy, perhaps. Look at that tin of biscuits. That really reminds me of being at my nana's, and there'd be a big tin, a Quality Street tin, with biscuits in. And the top of the tin would have this weird little compartment that rattled with rice, with dried rice, to suck up the moisture that was getting into the air inside the tin. I don't think you can get that now. All these things will have to be reinvented at some point when they reinvent the wheel and make things sensible and useful again. God, I sound such an old fart. I'm really sorry. Anyway, that's the book, Flowery Fingers, by Cecilia H. Hind. It's interesting, even in 1961, they're saying boys should be doing this as well. It's not just for girls. And they're keen to say that right at the start, even back in 61. We were never given classes in domestic science or home economics. When I was a kid, even in the 80s, didn't begin till after I'd left school. Look there, they're having a picnic. It's really annoying. I wish I had been taught to cook when I was at school. Didn't learn till I had to, till I was at college. And then, of course, I really enjoyed it. I love cooking and making things. Okay, that's kind of it. We are going to have a quiet afternoon after we've done some shopping. My friend Stuart arrives for the weekend from Scotland, and then we've got a weekend of seeing lots of people, going out and seeing a play, which hopefully I'll talk about at some point afterwards. There's a kind of a Doctor Who gathering on Saturday around this play, which is based on the life of John Nathan Turner, one of the most notorious producers behind Doctor Who. And a friend of ours is in it, and there's lots of people we know who are going to be there. So that's going to be exciting on Saturday. A full weekend ahead, and maybe not too much reading time. So I'll have to try and make up for that today after shopping. And then at some point, the first is Saturday, I think, and I won't get a chance then. I'm going to have to move on to the next bag in my book club and choose one at random from the heap of bags I set aside, and then I'll know what my 6 books for February are, which fills me with glee, actually. I love this whole project of the book club. Okay, I'm going to go. Shorter episode today, but that's okay. Socks has calmed down. I've got a cup of tea, and I will see you all again quite soon. Goodbye.